Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Produce Moms Podcast. Today, we have a woman that I met literally in passing at an industry event, and I was just so intrigued with the way she introduced herself. Today's guest is Lorena Muro. She is the CEO of Mama Pacha. Mama Pacha sources organic superfoods from the Amazon highland. One of their number one products is organic ginger. I know I'm not the only person that's eating more and more ginger as part of my daily life. And, you know, Lorena, she has an incredible story. You're really going to love it. She is an absolute juggernaut as it relates to elevating females in agriculture, and specifically within the fresh produce sector. So, Lorena, thank you for being here today on the Produce Moms Podcast.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you very much for this great invitation. It's an amazing opportunity to be able to share our experience and match with the whole community out there. So thank you very much.
Oh, of course. Now, please share with our listeners today how you introduced yourself to me, because your real quick introduction was I mean, I had your card and I was like, I have got to reconnect with this woman when we have more time. So please share with our listeners your little elevator speech that really just got me to raise my eyebrows, and I think it'll get all of them too as well.
Well, it's kind of funny because it really just comes up depending on how the energy flows. I have that little gift in me. So I think the best way to have this little elevator speech with everybody listening today, it's the fact of understanding that women nowadays have a different reality. We do have a different reality. We have more opportunities, and we cannot forget, for my point of view, the best industry that human beings enjoy to endure life on earth, which is the produce industry. And I love being a part of it. And I'm really excited. I don't see it as a job. I see it as a great opportunity to grow as a person. And what I can bring into the table is the voice of all the women that are not being heard and that are doing a very hardworking job in the jungle. In the Amazon jungle, we have is not a flat geography. We have highland, which is part of the Andes where the Amazon starts growing. So what we encounter here, it's a very challenging situation for men and women to practice agriculture. Of course, sustainability is a big part of it all, and having conscious chain supply allows it to be sustainable as well. So understanding that women in this part of the world don't have a lot of opportunities, social opportunities, economic opportunities, it's our perspective to bring them closer to the clients. So what we are doing is we are shortening that gap, not only the gender gap, but also the commercial gap that exists between the agriculture, especially female agricultures, and the market, especially the United States market. So we're focusing on what is organic superfoods and bringing up conscious eating, which is a very big step for humanity, and understanding that that's what Earth does, provides us a place where to step and a place where we can gather the best nutrients for the world. And one of the best things for me, and that I'm very excited about, is that we are harvesting and nurturing roots. And so if we can grasp ourselves into these roots that do represent what we need to go back to, our roots as human beings, and get very in touch with the land, with the earth, with the soil, I think we can definitely grow a big, big tree or a big, big plant that can have lots of fruits. So
right.
That's who we are.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And, you know, I know from our pre-show dialogue and from spending some time on the Mama Pacha website, over 70% of the farmers that grow and raise product for Mama Pacha are female.
Exactly. We are actually a 10-year-old company from Peru. We started working directly with farmers, 120 farmers that work together with us today. We also have 40 hectares of our own, as the group in Peru. And we've been exporting mainly organic ginger and turmeric from the Amazon highlands to Europe, United States, and Canada. We've also expanded our operation due to the relations that we had with the farmers in the area to granadillas, which is like the sweet passion fruit, regular passion fruit, and different other superfoods that grow in the area. So we've basically started analyzing a little bit further the situation of the 100 women that work in our processing facility in Peru. We hand wash each piece of ginger. There's no mechanized procedure whatsoever. Everything is done by hand. So
wow.
what we've encountered is that women, of course, we do a more delicate job. And most of these women, when I spend a lot of time with them, it ends up being that they own farms. They own a lot of farms. And what they do, because of culturally, what they do is they just rent them out. So other people can work the land and they can plant anything and sell. So basically, these women are owners of land and they have a lot of understanding of farming procedures. But the economical opportunity was given to them by being a part of the staff in our company. So we started exploring different opportunities and see how is it that we could promote the fact that they could, if they own the land, why not work it? We also found that when we were increasing our volumes for export, we also found a lot of kids outside of our processing facility. And the more volume we were managing, the more kids we saw outside. And I started I am a mother of 3 myself, so I'm trying to wonder where these kids are coming from. And ends up being mama stays home late, and most of them don't have daddy at home. So they're single mothers, and they have to raise sometimes more than 2, 3 kids by themselves. And of course, Peru is an amazing country. Economically, it's growing very, very fast. But still, in these places that are not the capital, you see there's a lack of social support. And I believe that it's responsible of companies to assist into making this happen. So we've opened a little school where we took care of, it's not a formal school, it doesn't have a license, but we ended up just calling it the little school for the longest time until we actually did the logo, which was called La Escuelita, which in Spanish means the little school.
Sure.
So we've actually started taking care of kids after school and extracurricular activities, teaching them English and computer classes and music classes, and just taking care of them while mama was at work. And after spending more time in the family core, because we were taking care of the kids now, we started promoting the fact of providing them assistance so they can grow ginger themselves. And that's what started doing. They started managing their own business at the same time that they were working with us in the company. And so we saw some of these women that were actually now working into having them outside so people can know about them. How is it that they managed to administrate their own farm and start selling us the ginger? So what we're doing now is that we are managing or directing the volume that has been grown by women through Mama Pacha to the United States. So 70% of the volume that we distribute in the United States has been managed directly by a woman. And by that, we hear a lot about women empowerment nowadays, but to my belief, I don't think there's other type of empowerment other than the support that women can give to others. The real empowerment is the economical empowerment. If we give them opportunities to grow economically, I really believe that is the only way a woman can step on their own feet, take care of her family, if there's not a man around, which is usually what we find in patriarchal societies. So it's definitely an amazing opportunity, and as a purpose-driven economy that I think this new generation is focused on, that is the future, and we do have to trust in the capacity of women, not only to farm and to have kids, but to run families, and why not nations in our next generation.
It's so good. I know that right now all the listeners are nodding their head, understanding why I was so captivated the minute I met you, Lorena. You're doing really important work. I know you know that, and I know that's one of your top motivating factors. But let's talk a little bit about the name Mama Pacha. Does that have a special meaning? I mean, it's obviously a very mom conscious enterprise, obviously. But what does the name Mama Pacha mean, or does it have a purpose?
Yes, there is a meaning behind it, and it's a very, very interesting and deep meaning. Mama Pacha means in the Inca language, the Inca language is the culture that developed in all South America. Everybody knows Cusco and wants to go to Cusco in Peru because that was like the center of the Inca culture. So in the Inca mythology, Mama Pacha means Mother Earth. So we are basically grasping the energy and the true meaning of the Mother Earth as a provider, sustainer, and developer of life. But that's not only going towards women, because men also have that capacity. And so we are embracing the magic and the power, the female creative power that exists also in men and in women to be honest, to reduce the gender gap and have more opportunities for everybody in this beautiful world that we live in. And Mother Earth, it's the Mother Earth. Mama Pacha means Mother Earth, is the energy that provides life, that sustains life on the planet. And to be a little bit dry, it's good to throw this out there. I mean, if we don't get all together and try to help each other, it's really simple. We can all disappear, and it's really easy. If humans disappear, plants are going to still grow. Animals are going to still be here. Rivers will still flow. Night and day will still come, but we won't be here. So it's a matter of us getting together, understanding that what we're trying to do is endure life. So the mission of our company is to really protect the overall health of life. So if we provide the best that we can, doing it the best that we can, I think we will definitely have a future here.
Right. And I think that actually brings up, a great opportunity for transition. I mean, speaking of health, I mean, I personally consume a lot of ginger because it makes me feel better. I add fresh ground ginger, or I juice ginger in my morning, in my fresh pressed juices. I love the kick that it provides. I do grated ginger, with a lot of vegetable dishes, or there's a lot of proteins it's really good with. But it makes me feel better, but I don't necessarily know all of the unique health benefits to it. So let's talk specifically about ginger, what makes it such a great choice for health and wellness. And then also specifically Peruvian ginger. What is the point of differentiation with the ginger that is sourced from Peru and the Amazon highland growing region?
Exactly. The Asian ginger, or Chinese ginger, is the ginger that's been known for years, and that's the first one that was introduced in the American market and the overall market. So what we found ourselves is a ginger, Chinese or Asian ginger, ends up being a little bit bigger, has more air fibers, so it's a little bit less heavy, and has more water content to it. And it's what we call, when you cut it and you see it, it's what we call white ginger, because it's a little bit pale. So if we focus on ginger, Peruvian ginger. Peru has 130 ecosystems. I mean, the world has 130 ecosystems. Just Peru itself has 84 out of those 130 that the world hosts. So just by understanding that there's more 70% or 80% of the ecosystems that belong just in Peru, the biodiversity that we encounter in this small place, it's huge. It's really big. Like if you go from Lima, that is the capital, driving towards the middle, the highland Amazonian jungle, the area of Chanchamayo, that is where we grow the ginger. We go through sand, beach, sand, rocky mountains. Then we start turning around in different twists and turns, because it's a really complicated road. But then you encounter snow. You go to the highest point of the Andes, and then you encounter snow, and then you start coming down, and then you start seeing this like heavy jungle that starts building up. And this is all in a 4.5 hour time span. So what we encounter every other 100 miles is just an amazing biodiversity. And in this special area where Peruvian ginger grows, in the highland Amazonian jungle, is just a small space. And the acidity of the floor and the ecosystem where it develops, it allows this unique ginger to grow in a way that allows it to have 3 more times the essential oil concentration than any other ginger in the world. And so what we find is that cinchiberoles, which is the active component, there's thousands others, but that is what provides the anti-inflammatory, the medicinal purposes, the great tummy ache release, and what makes us feel so good when we have a flu, and anti-inflammatory in general.
And so if I'm understanding correctly, there's 3 times more of that nutritional property or plant benefit
Exactly. So what we see,
the ginger that's sourced from other regions. Okay. Wow.
Exactly. So also for industrial purposes, for juicing or for extracts, we don't have to use a big piece. We can use a small piece, and we're going to get 3 times what we're expecting. So it's something very exciting to know, because Peruvian ginger, at the same time, the oil allows it, because there's not a lot of water, it allows to have a longer shelf life, which is really interesting for all of us produce people, which that's what makes us go to sleep at night. So it's good news.
I think, to your point with the changing consumer mindsets generation by generation, there's certainly a consumer interest in reducing food waste, both within the supply chain and at home. So it's nice to hear about that property as well for the Peruvian ginger from Mama Pacha.
Yes, and what we find too is that Peruvian ginger, when I started in the industry and promoting Peruvian ginger, I was remembering Logistica in Berlin, and there were some clients that came along, and they were like, "Yeah, but what is the difference?" And I was like, "Well, you have to try it. You like ginger, right? Yeah, you try ginger. Well, you have to try it." So you just you can cut a little piece, or just bite a little piece, and you can taste regular ginger, or what we call white ginger, because Peruvian ginger, we call it yellow ginger, because when you cut it and you see in the inside, it's yellowish, or more yellow than what you will expect. So when we try Chinese ginger, we get this little hit, this little zest, but then it starts immediately coming down after it hits the top, which is really fast after you try it. But when we do Peruvian ginger and you try Peruvian ginger, it just it gets that hit zest, spicy hit, and then keeps going up and up and up and up, so I had the gentleman take off his jacket and be like, "Oh my God, I'm getting, a little bit warm here." So it's like, well, it's Berlin in February. You can take your jacket and walk with a piece of ginger in your pocket if you want.
Right. Oh, that's great. That's great. So Lorena, what other, I know you obviously focus on sourcing organic ginger, but what other Amazon highland superfoods should our listeners be including in their diets? All of us be including in our diets?
Well, the beautiful marriage that ginger enjoys in its natural Peruvian environment in the jungle is turmeric. Turmeric, red ruby turmeric, that also grows right next to our ginger, is amazing, especially the curcumin content that has. Once again, because of the ecosystem where it's growing, and specifically, we don't find it anywhere else but in that part in Peru, we find that the curcumin concentration of turmeric is 5.5, which is the highest known. We had the highest rate of Sri Lanka, which was 4.8, but then we ran some tests and we were amazed to find that it was 5.5, which is the highest curcumin content in the whole world right now. Sadly, we are not allowed as of yet to import organic turmeric from Peru. It's not a origin that is just allowed yet, but it's under evaluation, and I am becoming very active in that, because turmeric, it's a miracle root, and but definitely we are drying it and selling it in dry form in the meantime. So it's something that we're also keeping customers and clients and consumers aware of the properties of turmeric, and anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-everything, even antidepressant. And the combination of them both brings an amazing effect on human health. I do also take shots of ginger and turmeric every morning, and you can definitely see a before and after when you start including it in your diet. There's, of course, different things that you have to take under consideration, like the use of pepper to bioabsorb it better in your body, and some oil, like the coconut oil. But that is some stuff that we will be sharing in our blogs, so people can be aware of it. But it's definitely something to keep in mind. And
so tell me a little bit more about how you prepare those shots. Do you just juice the root and then?
Yes, I just juice them, and we put some lime in it. And but there is an amazing ingredient. There's amazing recipe. I am a Kundalini yoga instructor. I also practice. I used to teach yoga back in the days. And while I was practicing Kundalini yoga, there was a lot of information on this golden milk. And
we have a recipe for it. Yeah.
Oh yes. I can tell you briefly. Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's completely antidepressive. Like, even if you're not depressive, you just take it and you will feel like neutral. Like when you finish doing your breathing exercise or your yoga exercise, so you finish for a run and you feel that like neutral state of mind. That's what these roots give you. And if you look a little bit into the energetic perspective of it, I mean, it's a root. It grows. It sustains the plant. The mission that it has on nature. It's to root you. So it's definitely the effects that not only are chemical or physiological, but they have an energetical effect on us as well. So it's something that we also have to be aware of and embrace it.
Great. Good. Well, I'm glad to know I'm on the right track. If we've got Lorena from Mama Pacha saying that's how she enjoys the roots, or in that golden milk or moon milk. We've had some folks call it moon milk, but yeah, it's a great beverage. Really any time of day. I typically do it in the evening, but it's a great way to start your day too. So
yeah,
thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Well, Lorena, it's been a wonderful conversation today. I want you to definitely tell our listeners where they can go to connect with Mama Pacha. And then also, as we close every show, you have the opportunity for the final words and the last goodbye. But thank you so much for being our guest today on the Produce Moms podcast. I learned a lot. I'm inspired by the work that you do. I think you are a rising star within the produce industry. I hope that all of our inter-industry friends that are listening today reach out and connect with Lorena on LinkedIn and, check out the Mama Pacha website to learn more about this amazing brand and this passionate female leader. So Lorena, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. And I just wanted to let everybody know that based on my active involvement in the community in Peru and in the exports and imports in the United States, I was approached by the Mrs. World organization, and which is a little bit out of the topic. It might throw some people out there, but it's a journey that I've been through for the last year, and it's something that has been really enriching, and it allowed me to connect to other women. And I believe, how they say, they're behind a great man, there's a great woman. Well, if we start thinking about it, behind a great man, behind a great woman, there are a lot of other great women. So we need to stand together and hold our hands high and be referrals for other women to know that, yes, it's possible. And I don't see a lot of women in the produce industry, and that motivates me a lot to bring other women along. So I am currently reigning Mrs. Peru USA, and my mission is to offer a platform for women to understand that this is a beautiful, very responsible, and very conscious business to be in. That definitely will open doors for a lot of people. And by embracing their own power, their own energy, their own beauty, because we are beautiful, we are amazing, and we are powerful. We have the capacity of bring life into the world. We can definitely transform generations and make a better world. Why not do it with what keeps us alive, that is food, and nothing better than fresh? So definitely understanding that we have to embrace a purpose-driven economy, and the purpose needs to drive us, because at the end, money it disappears, and we're also going to go, and what stays is what we leave behind. To lead transcendently and let others smile and have a better quality of life, I don't think there's a better and direct way of doing it than with food, and especially fresh. So thank you very much. And I also want to share this week we've joined forces with Southern Specialties to distribute and make United States aware of what Mama Pacha ginger, and if everything allows, turmeric as well within the coming years. And we're very, very, very proud to be working hand on hand, and not only distributing and letting people know about our ginger, but also other organic superfoods that will definitely increase the quality of life of all of us. So thank you very much, and light and blessings to everybody.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.